to me has always been the game of when do you fold them and when do you hold them. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the time we hold them. It's not the time that we fold them. Our niche is becoming complete. You are all becoming superstars. Staff is becoming as proficient as they possibly can. Why now, when the picture is pretty much complete, would I want to capitulate? And the answer is no, I don't want to. I like this company. I'm going to tell you a secret. I like coming to work. I didn't want to tell you that, but I do like coming to work. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about our stock unit plan. But first, I want to tell you what the purpose of the plan is. And listen very carefully. The purpose of this plan is to provide a long-term performance incentive to be used as a means to attract and to keep key people who are capable of an outstanding performance. Isn't that wonderful? I memorized it. I'm going to tell you again. The purpose of this plan is to create a long-term performance incentive to act as a means to attract and keep key personnel capable of outstanding performances. And that's each and every one of you, because from when that first call comes into the office till you write that mega deal at the height of your career, you are capable of outstanding performances throughout that, and we are going to recognize it, and we are going to reward you for an outstanding job. Let me give you a couple examples of an outstanding job. Sunset office, Monday morning, 8:59. Our receptionist, Jonathan, it's his 7th year anniversary that Monday morning. I calculated yesterday that on his 7th day anniversary, when he goes to answer that phone, it's the 823,655 times he's answered that phone. And he reaches for the phone, and here's what you hear. Good morning, DBL, how may I help you? Exceptional homes. That, ladies and gentlemen, is an outstanding performance. That, ladies and gentlemen, is something we are attempting to identify and reward and to use as an incentive to keep you doing the same. And it leads all the way up to, come with me now Monday afternoon, and it's Century City, one of those high-rises, 20th floor. The elevator opens, you walk out, you're in a big, high-powered law firm. You can hear it behind the doors, boom, 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 boom. You see the receptionist, you walk up to the receptionist, you tell her who you're there to see. She tells you they are waiting in the conference room, and she points to this glass conference room that you can see at the other end. And there's a huge mahogany table in there, and sitting all around this big table are all these suits. All these men in various shades of gray, all in suits, 20 of them there to represent the seller. I don't know what 20 of them are going to do to represent the seller, but they're all there. Time to present the offer. In walks Barbara and Michelle Robinson, dressed in Chanel from head to toe. They sit down at the table. The men are so rude, they don't even bother to get up. They have no manners. It's so tense in that room that you're afraid you're going to break out in a cold sweat and run. And Barbara sits down, and in 2 minutes, she has told an amusing story, and everybody is relaxed. Everybody feels good. And she segues, and she turns to them and says, the reputation of my client precedes me. I needn't explain them to you, but I'm authorized here to offer you $25 million in cash for your house in a 5-day escrow. And I'm also authorized not to accept a counteroffer. And she pauses, and she looks at him and says, now, gentlemen, what do y'all think? That, ladies and gentlemen, is an outstanding performance. And everything in between that is capable of an outstanding performance. You are all capable of the outstanding performance that we're going to do in order to recognize who you are and how you do it. Okay, how does it work? The big one. Here's what we've decided to do. We are taking 10% of the value of this company. We are taking 10% of what ultimately we will sell the company for, and yes, ultimately someday I will sell the company. Not now, not soon, but ultimately I will. And when we do, we're going to take 10% of whatever we get net there, and we're going to pass it out to those of you who've been able to continue doing an outstanding performance in the years to come for us. Okay, here's how it works. You either fall into one of two categories. categories. You're either staff, which includes assistant managers and managers, or you're an agent. Staff, the way the committee has set it up this year is on your 3rd year anniversary with DBL, you will be eligible and awarded stock units. Because we feel after 3 years, if you've managed to stay with us and put up with us, you must be okay. And we must like you. Every year after that 3-year, you'll receive another piece of stock units when you meet with your manager for your annual review. On your 10th year anniversary, because we recognize that as being a milestone, that you've given 10 years of your life to this company, you'll receive another unit of stock at that point. Every year after the 10 years, you'll receive twice as many units as you received every anniversary prior to your 10 years. Because we really feel if you've given that kind of a commitment to the company, then the company has to give back to you. Agents, you qualify and become eligible for the plan when you have earned in hand $1 million. Whether it takes you 5 years and you earn $200,000 a year for those 5 years, or you come in 1 year and you make $1 million in that year, you are now eligible for the plans and you will receive your award of stock. Every year thereafter, the minute you hit $150,000 in production, you get another unit of stock, and every time you do $50,000 above that, you get more stock and more stock and more stock. Now, here's the catch. You can't leave. You cannot leave. That is the catch. And the other catch is you have to continue doing an outstanding performance. But I'm telling you, if you do an outstanding performance and you do not leave, you will be able to keep and accumulate the stock, and you will be able to use the stock, and it will turn into a very nice little nest egg for each and every one of you. I've calculated that there are about 45 of you in this room who by the end of the year are going to receive these awards, and they're totaling about $1 million. We are literally this year passing out $1 million in awards to about 50 of you who have been able to, through the years, perform at an outstanding level. And you deserve it because it is a reward for a job well done. Now, if you do decide to leave DBL, the stock remains in DBL, and it'll be thrown back in the kitty and redistributed to those who are going to stay with us, those who are going to work with us until we decide that it's over and we're going to sell this entity. And we're hoping that by doing that, it brings all of us in there, and it gives all of us the opportunity in which to be part of what we're trying to create here. You know, I've been telling you guys for years that life is not a dress rehearsal, that you only get one shot, that this person sitting in these seats right now, it's the one shot you've got to occupy the body. One shot you've got to use these hands, one shot with the face, one shot with the legs. Well, you know what? This market is creating another layer of this not being a dress rehearsal. These mortgage rates, which are music to my ears, is also the music of musical chairs. And I'm telling you now, I've been through the musical chairs twice before when the music stops. When the music stops, the money dries up. And suddenly you've got to be sitting on a chair. Because if you're not sitting on a chair and the music stops, you've got to get out of the game. And there's nothing we can do to give you a chair when the music stops. But what we can do is explain to you now that this is the game we're playing. Explain to you now you have to listen to us because we're going to show you how to keep your chairs when the music stops. But you've got to listen to us, and you've got to go along with it. And you've got to embrace things like cooperation. You've got to be able to do and go beyond what you normally do. Staff, if you're sitting there and it's not in your job description and an agent stops and he asks you to type a letter and you've got the time, type the letter. Agents, when you're out there and you're working on a deal and you know it's another DBL agent working on there, honor them, respect them. Treat them as the diversity that's going to ultimately make you rich, because that's the reality of who they are and what they are. I have notes. I think today is a really important day. It's a real important day because we're all finally tied and part and parcel into this process. I think if we go back to what the purpose of this plan is, and if you and I do nothing more while we're associated, but live up to the literal definition of what this stock unit plan is, you and I will end up getting everything we want when this is all over. I can guarantee you that. If you and I can honor the purpose of this plan, you and I will end up getting everything it is we want to get when this is all over, and I can guarantee you that. Now let's go back to the purpose of the plan. The purpose of this plan is to create a long-term performance incentive. Let me break that down for you. Long-term. It means we're in it for the long haul. You and me. Long-term. Performance incentive. I want to give you an incentive to make you perform more than you might normally do. I'm a salesman at heart. I know the incentives I need to perform, and that's why we're creating this performance incentive. And it's going to act as a means to attract and to keep key people. Attract key people. This means if you own shares in this company, if you're sitting there with these units and you get your friend who's the top producer at Coldwell Banker to come over, you know what happens? Your shares just went up. You see how it all works at that point? So we're going to use this to attract those key people, and we're going to use this to retain those key people, because you're those key people. And now when Coldwell Banker calls you and says, well, I'm going to bump your commission a little bit more, and I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to give you that, you're going to say, nah, I don't want to go. Not only do I like the company, not only do I like Alan, but I own shares. It's going to retain you. And it's to be used as a reward for outstanding performances. You've got to give me an outstanding performance. And staff, if it's an outstanding performance, it's smiling before you answer the phone. It's making that client feel a little better. It's dropping everything and typing that letter for a top producer because you know they're running out there to do a big deal. And agents, it means taking a buyer and selling them another house even though you think you filled your quota. Because the minute you sell them another house, not only do you make the commission, but you raise the value of your stock. When you go out there and take a listing and you get that sign out in front of that house, it raises our market share. It raises the value of your stock. You see how it all works at that point? So if you and I can do nothing more than go back to the true essence, each word literally of the purpose of this plan, you and I will succeed, and you and I will get exactly what it is we've all come here for, that we want. And that I can guarantee you, because I believe so strongly in the strength of everybody sitting in this room. And I believe so strongly that if I can keep you guys together, I can focus this group. I can listen to this man, and I can take you to where he's talking about, but I need you to stay together, and I need you to give me outstanding performances. And you do those two things, and I guarantee you, you will get exactly what it is you want, and I've just laid it down on paper. So what's going to happen in the next 30 days, you're going to be contacted by your management if you qualify for the award. You'll be brought into their office, they'll explain to you the award, you'll be handed a stock unit plan, and you'll sign the stock unit plan. And in the stock unit plan is my purpose. It's the very first line, and you're going to agree to the purpose, and I'm going to sign it, and I'm going to agree to the purpose. And that's going to create this mutualism through our diversity that is going to allow us all to achieve the wealth and the prosperity that we want to get in our lives. So that's pretty much it with the stock unit plan. You're all available and capable to do it. And it's going to be a tremendous thing that, as I said, is going to really wed us together and make us different than everybody else. A lot of you have come from other real estate companies, and some of them have been quote-unquote successful. In my mind, they really haven't been successful. In my mind, in order to go beyond where they went, we have to change the tactics. This guy here, he says it won't work. If we keep doing the same old thing, we won't get any farther than those same old brokers who are now just golfing. We want to go beyond that. So to go beyond that, we need to change the tactics. And in order to change the tactics, we need to think outside of the box. You need to really honor the diversity that you see in your life, and you need to figure out how can we use this diversity to make us all stronger. When you think of the diverse makeup in our office, that I can have a young gay man sitting next to a Jewish grandmother, and they go to lunch together. And they list and they sell each other's houses and they cooperate, okay? That's prosperity through diversity. That's who we are, that's what we are, and I will honor that. And I will take our diversity, and instead of letting others use it against us, I'll use it to enhance who we are. And that's something they can't compete with because according to this guy, they don't see it. They can't understand it. And they may scream us at first because we'll be that nail that's standing up. But nonetheless, I think we'll be able to pave a new way because I am committed to taking us to heights that other companies have not received before that. So for the very last thing, because I am going to get you out of here at 11:30, I wanted to tell you all about how I'm going to give you a little incantation so that when you leave here today, you'll be able to create a little magic outside. In fact, I would like you to try this at least 5 times during the day so you can create 5 little individual pieces of magic. Okay, here's the ingredients you need in order for the incantation to work. First of all, you need to be in a car. Secondly, you need to be driving. The third thing you need is your magic wand, and the fourth thing you need is the magic words. Now, a lot of times I find I'm traveling without my wand. No pun intended, thank you. I was waiting for a few of you to get that. Anyway, sometimes I'm not traveling with my wand. So what I've decided to do is I've created a wand I could take with me everywhere at the last minute. No pun intended. And here's the wand. You use your first 2 fingers, your index finger and your middle finger, and you hold them up like this. Now, this is not to be confused with just holding up your middle finger, I want you to know. Okay, it's completely different. All right, so here it is. I would like everybody to create a little wand there. Can everybody just hold up their 2 fingers like this? All right, so now you're in the car. You're in your car, and you're driving. And you see up ahead there's another driver. And you realize that driver is trying to get in front of you. Oh, but you're not going to let him in. Instead, what I want you to do is do a little magic. And when you point your wand at this person and you use the magic words, what's going to happen is a bolt of lightning is going to leave your fingers. It's going to fly through the air and hit them right in the head. And you are going to produce a little magic. So here's how it goes. Everybody holds a wand. You see them in front of you. You point the wand at them. And you repeat the magic words. Go ahead. You first. When you point your wand at them and use the magic words and say, go ahead, you first, bazing, all of a sudden they'll smile. I swear to God, you'll produce a smile right then and there. And believe it or not, in that moment of time, you'll make the world a little bit better and you'll make a little magic. Ladies and gentlemen, have a nice day. Thank you.
You know what? You have become the most incredibly poised and skilled speaker. I mean, it's been going on for a long time, but you just